Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have some more fun with some terracotta pot animals. I got a couple little requests for these. I got a little Schnauzer, super easy, super quick to put together, and a little Dachshund. Look how cute these are. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay, for this one, I'm going to use some E6000 glue and some flower pots that measure 2.5 inches in diameter by 2 3/8 inches long. And I'm just going to glue the two bottoms together of two of them. And then just go ahead and make sure that you get your E6000 glue all the way to the edge, because if you just put it in the middle, they're not going to grab. And then go ahead and center that one on there. Just make sure that you get them straight. And then go ahead and put some glue on the top one, and we're going to go ahead and glue the other one to the top, the opposite way. Just go ahead and make sure that you get your E6000 glue all the way to the edge and you get it smoothed out pretty good. And then just go ahead and put that one on top. And then go ahead and clean any excess glue off at this time. You want to make sure you do it before it dries. Next, I'm going to take a flower pot that measures 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and these are going to be for the legs. And I'm just going to glue 2 of these together for the front and 2 together for the back, and then let those dry real well. The head, I'm going to take another one of those flower pots that measures 2 3/8 by 2 1/2, and one that measures 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and I'm just going to glue these right to the top of each one of these. And you want to make sure that you get your glue to the edge, because that flower pot doesn't sit completely inside of there, so go ahead and smooth it out, and then you can make sure that you do get it to grab. And then let that dry real well. So I'm going to take some 15mm half beads to attach the legs to the body, and I'm just going to glue them down the round part to the flower pot, and then the top part I'm going to curve it into the body. So you're going to kind of put it right close to the edge on each end. Just glue the round part down onto the top of the flower pot, and then we're going to curve them in, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a second. But go ahead and put a big dollop of the E6000 glue on there to attach your little beads with the round part down. And then when you're going to go ahead and put your flower pot on it to make it curve up so that you can grab the flat part to the body. And you're putting E6000 glue on those as well in a big dollop. Make sure you don't skimp on this part. And then when you put your flower pot on top, just make sure that those wooden beads are flush against the flower pot. And then you're going to let that dry. Let that dry for about 5 hours before you play with it. Okay, next I'm going to take a little wooden bead the same size, 15mm, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue it to the end for the nose. Next, to attach the head, I'm going to use Loctite Power Grab. This is a real good adhesive because it does grab and stays on there fast. You could use these E6000 glue and hot glue in combination, but I'm going to use this. And I just marked exactly where they actually touched the other flower pot, and that's where I'm putting my glue. And then I'm just going to hold it in place for about 30 seconds until it grabs, and then you can kind of let go because it does grab fast. And go ahead and brace it so it doesn't move. Next, go ahead and take some tweezers, and any little pieces that you have, any little strings or anything like that, you want to make sure that you remove them before you paint because you will see those. So go ahead and kind of clean them up a little bit. I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray paint it with a Krylon gloss leather brown paint, and I'm going to paint the inside of the little flower pots on both ends as well. And then just let that dry. Next, I've given you the pattern in the description below for the ears and the eyes. I've given it to you in both PDF and SVG. If you have a cutting machine, you can cut it out. And we're just going to go ahead and take our eyes and go ahead and glue our black part at the top part of our white part. And you're going to do both of them exactly the same way. Add a little white dot to the eye. I'm just taking the tip of my paintbrush, the bottom of it, and I'm dipping it in white paint. Give him a little accent color. I'm just taking some tan paint and a sponge, and I'm just going to sponge on both sides of his head. And then I'm going to do his legs as well, just the very tip of his legs, just to give him a little bit of an accent color. And if you're doing a dachshund, just look at some pictures online of how they look, and then you can kind of get some ideas from that. I'm just using the same paint just to do the very tips of his feet, all the way around the feet on all of them. Next, to attach the eyes, I'm just going to use some hot glue, and I'm just going to glue them right to the front. Now, if you're going to put this outside, you may want to put a little E6000 glue on this as well. I don't plan on putting this out in the elements. It'll either sit on my patio or I'm going to keep it inside my house. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush with that same brown paint, and I'm going to add some eyebrows to him. And paint his nose black. And I'm just using chalk paint on this. His whiskers, I'm just going to take a Sharpie and I'm just going to put some little dots on it. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, next for the ears, I just cut those out of craft foam, and I'm going to use some brown paint that's similar in color to the body, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint these. And again, the ear pattern is in the description below. Just download it and cut it out. And I'm going to paint the front and the back of these. For the tail, I'm just going to take a piece of craft foam, cut it in half, put them together, and then I'm just going to freehand a tail. So I'm just going to come down at the bottom, start curving in, and then go in a little circle at the bottom, and then come back up the opposite side. And you want to make it a little bit bigger first, and then we're going to trim it down. And then we're just going to put a piece of pipe cleaner in the center and glue the two sides together. And just kind of trim it up a little bit, shorten it up a little bit. That way you can make sure you got glue all the way to the edge. I think mine ended up being maybe a ½ inch wide. And then you're going to put it right there and curl it. Now go ahead and paint it now. I did not paint mine until after I glued it in. Mistake. Paint it now the same color as the ears. To attach the ears, we're just going to fold them over 1/4 inch, and we're just going to glue these right into the edge of the flower pot. And you want to make sure that you are on the opposite side of the eye. You don't want to cover up the eye. And then just hold that in place until it dries real well. And then we're going to kind of curve it in just a little bit and put a little bit of glue underneath it just to make sure that it's facing forward. Just kind of a little bit of glue, and then just kind of push it back just a little bit like that, and then hold that until it dries. And then do the same thing with the other ear. And you could close up the back of the flower pot if you want to when you get done. I did not. And then same thing on that side. Go ahead and put a little bit of glue right underneath there, and then pull that back just a little bit so it does stay forward. That was pretty much it. Look how cute he is. Okay, that was super simple. These would be cute in your kitchen or on your outdoor patio. Let me know what you think in the comments. This next one, we're going to take 2 of those little legs like we did the little dachshund, and we're going to glue those together. And those are 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. And then just let those dry, and then we're going to take 2 of the same size flower pots that we used before, the 2 1/2 by 2 3/8, and go ahead and glue them together with the open sides together. And just use an E6000 glue on both of them, and then just let that dry real well. And then go ahead and get any excess glue off before it dries. And then for the head, we're going to use the same size flower pot as the body, and we're just going to glue one of the little flower pots on top. Again, that's the same size we used in the other one. And then let that dry for about 5 hours before you mess with it. Okay, to attach the legs to the body, we're going to come right down to the edge on both sides. And we're going to do the same thing we did on the little Dachshund. We're going to use the little 15 millimeter half beads, and we're going to glue them with the curved side down. And then we're going to glue onto those and curve those into the body. Make sure you use plenty of glue on this though. And then put some on top, a big dollop on top, and then we're going to curve those into the body like we did before. And you want to curve those beads in so that they are touching the body. And then let those dry. Head, you want to go ahead and mark exactly where it's touching on two sections, the head onto the body. Mark them with your pencil, and that's where we're going to put our power grab. And just go ahead and set it up there, and then just let it dry. Now you do want to probably brace it like I did the other one. Now that that's all dry, I'm going to take another one of those half round beads, and I'm just going to glue it right to the front for the nose. I'm going to spray paint the entire thing with some Rust-Oleum Satin black paint. To give it a little bit of texture, I'm taking some dark gray paint and some white paint and kind of blending it together till I get like a medium gray. And then I'm just going to use a sponge, and I'm going to sponge it all over the body except for the nose. It just gives it a little bit of texture, kind of make it look a little bit like fur. And then I'm doing the inside of the flower pot too. So I'm going to take some faux fur that measures 3 inches by 1 inch, and I'm going to fold it in half, find my center point, and I'm going to comb the fur on both sides. This is going to be for his nose. And you can use any kind of faux fur that you want to. I got this at Joann's. Just kind of split it open there, and then we're just going to glue it right to the nose. Well, not to the nose, just above the nose, sorry. And then go ahead and glue it on down all the way around. Cut another piece. It measures 1 inch by 1 inch, and this is going to be for his chin area. Just get all the fur off of it. We're going to put it right up underneath there, but we're going to go ahead and add a tongue here next. So I'm just taking some pink craft foam, and I'm just cutting into a U shape to a tongue. And you want to make it kind of small. That kind of was huge. So just kind of trim it up until it's a little smaller. And then we're just going to glue right to the back part of that and glue that right up underneath the nose. And then we're going to put the little chin right below that. Well, actually behind that. And then go ahead and glue a little bit of glue and pull your front hair over the top of that just to kind of blend that all together. We're going to do the eyes. I'm just going to take a white circle that's 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to glue a 1/2 inch circle in black over the top of it where you see white all the way around. And I've given you the pattern for these in the description below. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush, the tip of the bottom of it, and I'm going to add a little dot to each one of them. Then to attach the eyes, I'm just going to put them just like that, and I'm going to use hot glue to attach them. Just kind of curve them around there and hold them until they dry. Add some eyebrows. I'm taking a piece of faux fur that measures 1 inch by 1/2 inch. And go ahead and comb it out to one side on both of them. Do 2 of them exactly the same. And then go ahead and fold the edge of this over just about 1/4 of an inch. So you have a nice finished edge when you put this on. And do the same thing with the other one. Then we're going to join the 2 kind of in the center. And we're just going to go right to the center of both eyes on these and bring those 2 together. And this is a little Schnauzer if you didn't figure that one out by now. And then just let that dry real well. For the ears, we're going to cut out 4 of the smaller ear pattern. And we're going to cut that out of craft foam. So just cut 4 exact pieces like that. Okay, now that you got those cut out, we're going to go ahead and put a piece of pipe cleaner right down into the center of it, and that way we'll be able to bend these ears. And then we're going to put another piece right on top of that one and glue them together so that you don't see the pipe cleaner. And you're going to do that for both sets of ears. Just make sure that you do get them glued all the way to the edge. I'm going to use that same dark gray paint I used for the body, and I'm going to paint the ears, both the front and the back on both of them. And make sure you get the sides good too. To attach them, I'm just going to glue them right in, just bend them over, and then go ahead and bend them over a little bit further once you get them put in. And they should join right in the center. And then just go ahead and bend them over. For the tail, I'm going to cut a piece of faux fur that measures about 1 inch by 1 inch. And I'm just going to glue a pipe cleaner right down in the center of it to attach it to my flower pot. Just glue it right in the center and then just wrap that around. And then I'm going to take some scissors and kind of thin it out a little bit just to make it a little bit less bulky. And then I'm going to glue it together at the end and just kind of trying to make like a little nub tail. Okay, then I'm just going to glue it right into the bottom there. There's a hole in the flower pot. Go ahead and stick it in there and just go ahead and put some glue right there to hold it in place. That was pretty easy. Look how cute that one turned out. Okay, I think this one turned out super cute. You could modify him to do just about any kind of dog. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like and be sure and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell so you're notified when I have a new video upload. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it.